That's the Rick Smith Show. Heard weeknights at 9 right here on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Hey there, Wisconsin. Tom Hartman here.
Hey, folks on the stream. Thanks for tuning in for the Todd Allbaugh Show's 3rd year anniversary.
How about that, ladies and gentlemen? We have a special guest right here. Here we go.
Got about 30 seconds.
From the Civic Media World Headquarters in Madison, Wisconsin, it's the Todd Allbaugh Show. And now, pursuing truth wherever it may lead, here's your host, Todd Allbaugh.
On the Civic Media Radio Network and streaming worldwide on the Civic Media app. Good afternoon, everybody. Todd Allbaugh, along with Mr. Aaron Zommers, our producer and engineer. It is 6 minutes past the hour of 2 o'clock on this Friday, TGIF, November 14th, 2025. It is a great day to be a Wisconsinite. Welcome in, everybody. High atop State Street, a block off the Capitol Square at the intersection of State and Fairchild. Mr. Zommers, we have made it to 3 years.
3 years.
Congratulations.
Of the Todd Allbaugh Show. And to you too.
Our 3rd anniversary. We have made it 3 years. Thankful for that. And welcome in, everybody. Going to be a great show today. You're going to want to stick around for the entire thing. Lots of news and information here in hour number 1. And then hour number 2, I believe our old friend Dan Schaefer is going to be making an appearance, our 3rd anniversary, helping us recombobulate a little bit. The theme for this show, Zommers, as my 7th grade teacher, public school teacher in Richland Center Middle School, Andy Spees, was fond of saying, math as in life, it's always good to pause and reflect. Pause and reflect. That's what Andy Speed said. And so it's a pause and reflect type of show. So we got Dan Schaefer in, Trygve Olsen maybe popping in for a moment, a couple of old friends of ours on the show. Kevin O'Connor, my old broadcast partner. Lots of people to help celebrate the 3rd anniversary. And Zommers, right off the bat, we would not have gotten here to this point, our 3rd anniversary, without you, buddy. And thank you very much.
Well, thank you. And I just really appreciate the opportunity to have helped this show grow as best I can.
We got thrown together. Mike Crute said, you got 2 weeks to do a show, to put it together, a 3-hour show, and it starts in 2 weeks. Can you do it? And here's Zommers. He's going to be your producer. And we went to Novotna Pizza, which is no longer on University Avenue anymore. And I said, Zommers, the number one thing to me is loyalty. I don't care about anything. And you know what? You held up the bargain, and I appreciate that very much.
Well, thanks. I mean, and it goes both ways, and you've always been very straightforward about what you want the show to be, and it made it very easy to work with you.
Very good. I appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun, and more to come. More to come, as Johnny Carson used to say here on our 3rd anniversary. And speaking of Carson, speaking of Letterman, one of my big idols there, on the Letterman show, the tie for the most appearances by guests, Tony Randall, the great actor Tony Randall, and Regis Philbin. And for us, as far as a political guest, no one has appeared on this program more over our 3 years than Wisconsin State Senator Kelda Royce, who incidentally just happens to be a candidate for Wisconsin governor. And she's kind enough on short notice to make an appearance here in the studio, balloons and all. Senator Royce, how are you?
I'm so happy to be here with you, Todd, as always.
I am thrilled. People say, you and Kelda have a really good rapport on the show. I said, because she's so easy to talk to. She's a normal person, and that's what makes it fun.
Well, I think, we both have a huge amount of curiosity. We really genuinely enjoy talking with people and learning from them. And I think that, that's not a combination that we hear a lot, especially represented in media these days. And so it's always, I always learn from you. I always have a fun time. And nobody picks bumper music like Somers
Right?
over there. So
He's the best. He's the absolute
I know.
best.
I want him to DJ my life.
Maybe an election night party.
Oh, there you
That
go.
could be
Yeah,
possible.
that could be possible.
Yeah.
Well, let's just start off with this because thank you for the kind words. One of the things I've said this before on this show, I don't care what side of the aisle it is, and it's more rare today than ever. People in elected office who have the self-awareness to say, you know what, maybe I can learn from other people. You know what, I need to listen, and not adjust their beliefs, but how they go about their business. And I don't know a better legislator in the state capitol who's done that during the course of your career and matured as a legislator while staying true to your principles than you. And that's why I appreciate someone who can be self-reflective of everybody in your district.
Well, that's really kind of you. And that's a high compliment coming from you. So I really appreciate it.
It's true. And I think that's why people, as I've been watching this race, it's in its early stages. We're just now under a year from the general and a little bit longer from the primary.
But who's counting besides my husband?
I think that's what's drawing people to your campaign. Give us an update, if you would, from the campaign trail as you travel around Wisconsin, all 72 counties. What have you been hearing so far? What are Wisconsinites talking about?
Well, what I hear again and again is people are so sad about what is happening in our country. They feel scared. They feel disempowered by what the Republican regime is doing and the harms, not only that we're experiencing right now with the tariffs and the chaos and what that's doing to farmers and small businesses, but the fear of what is coming in the future with changes to healthcare, with more destabilizing bills being passed with the federal government with the shutdown. So they want a leader that is willing to stand up to Trump and try to protect us from those harms. At the same time, there's a real hunger out there to say, why can't Democrats actually get stuff done when they govern? And if we're going to give you power, we want to make sure that you're going to use it to fund our public schools and not just talk about it, not just say, oh, this is what we care about, but actually to do it and deliver. And so it is definitely higher wages. It's lower costs. It's having more freedoms protected, freedom to vote, freedom to control your body, freedom to be who you want to be and live the life you want to live. Those are consistent, whether I'm in urban, rural areas, north, south, any part of the state. I just talk to so many people that have the same kind of common goals.
We're talking to State Senator Kelda Royce of the 26th District here in Dane County, running for governor of the state of Wisconsin. You mentioned public schools. I want to bring this up again because it was more in the news again here last couple of weeks. The University of Wisconsin system. While I have been critical of both parties in this situation, I've been critical of Jay Rothman, the president of the system, and the Board of Regents, who've kind of gone dormant. I've been critical, and I'm a guy who voted for Tony Evers in every single one of his races, even with all due respect, the primary of 2018.
That's okay. A lot of people did. He was by far the best known candidate, and that makes a huge difference. And he's been the best governor he can be with this legislature.
We could grab a beer sometime. I think many of the reasons I voted for Tony Evers in 2018 are what I'll just say it. Probably why I'm going to vote for you this time because I think you can relate to a lot of people. And that's just the fact. But more importantly, right now for this discussion, I've been in Muscatine, Wisconsin, and Southwest Wisconsin, 10 miles from my hometown, Richland Center. You and former State Rep Katrina Shanklin came out there, held a listening session about the two-year colleges, about the closures. You were reflective. You didn't blame it on one singular party, and you were about solutions. Why can't we get more anybody, I don't care, Democrat, Republicans, or independents, talking about this?
It has been a huge frustration. I mean, I think, we have a lot of legislators who don't necessarily have the longer view of history because so many folks in the Capitol are new. And that's certainly true on the Democratic side, right? There are very few legislators who were there during Act 10. There are very few legislators, who remember what it was like when we actually funded our university system, right? When we were a leader in public education in K-12. And so in that scenario, I think it's hard to really have full context and feel confident about what you're saying. And, I think that oftentimes because we live in such a culture that loves political conflict and is always trying to figure out like what's the dividing point and what separates us and how can we pit people against each other to get more clicks. You know, that kind of political culture doesn't really lend itself to elected officials being willing to talk, to say things that you might sound dumb, you might put your foot in your mouth. And in an environment that's uncontrolled, like a listening session, you know, people are a little bit afraid. And I guess I can understand that instinct, but I just think, boy, at a minimum, our job is to let people be heard.
I guess to put a point on it, we talked about this a couple weeks ago, that the Board of Regents now is looking at changing curriculum, having a general ed curriculum across all 4 years, which in my opinion is giving Jay Rothman and the Board of Regents a reason to close the remaining 2 years, because they're going to say, well, that's what the 2 years were there for. Now you can get these. I think that's going to be the final nail in the coffin for the 2 years. And what I'm hearing from my sources, that they are now looking at 4-year campuses in this state. Is that hyperbole, Senator Royce, or do you think there's something to this?
I think it's reasonable to be deeply concerned about the future of the universities of Wisconsin. I think that we have seen a complete abandonment of public higher education from the Republicans now currently in the legislature, and it's very dangerous. Who's going to be hurt by this? It is not kids who already have opportunities, the kids that can go out of state, the kids that can go to get into UW-Madison or Milwaukee. It's young people in the state who were working hard. They have good grades, they have the work ethic, but they don't have the money, they don't have the connections. And frankly, it's too hard for them to envision going far from home. They're the ones whose opportunities are being cut short.
Yeah, and my criticism is not reserved to the Democrats on this, sans you. But my former party have underfunded the UW system and public education for years. You have State Senator Howard Markline, who took my former boss's place, who wouldn't make a mole on Dale Schultz's arm. I'll keep it clean. But he's put 999s, for those of you that aren't familiar, it's kind of a secret catch-all bill in the joint finance to fund UW Washington, which Governor Evers vetoed, but he wouldn't even do it for his own college, he and Tony Kurtz in Richland Center. These are the types of games that Republicans
earmarks
are playing.
For every little special interest, but not earmarks for or funding for public education that every single Wisconsinite benefits from.
And we have until 20 after, or the bottom of the hour?
I'm good. I think I've got.
Are we okay with the bottom of the hour or no?
Yeah.
All right. 30. Yeah, okay. I want to cut you off here. We got a couple of minutes here before the first breakaway. But yes, Republicans are not they're doing this secret stuff. So the bottom line, Senator, somebody I trust and respect, what's it going to take for both parties to cut the BS and actually say, is it the audit bureau doing a full audit? Who's going to get the truth? If you're governor, how are you going to get the truth on this and actually save the Wisconsin idea?
I think the way we save the university is to fund it. And if we want that to happen, we have to have a governor who is willing to put her political capital on the line and do it. I mean, this isn't exactly a both sides kind of issue, because consistently Republicans have been more hostile to public higher ed, and Democrats have wanted to fund it, but they've felt more constrained because we've had this Republican-dominated legislature for 30 of the last 32 years. So there isn't exactly an equivalency, but the truth is that even when Democrats have power, too often we fail to use it. And that's really frustrating to me.
Thank you for
honestly,
saying that.
What is the point of being in government if you're not going to use the power you might have to make people's lives better? Are you going to succeed all the time? No. Is every idea you have going to be perfect and work out? Not always. But you have to be willing to take those risks. You have to have the courage to do it, to try to lead. And I think that's why I decided I had to get into this governor's race, because I don't want to see us let another opportunity slip through our fingers.
Yeah, amen to that. And so refreshing to hear a Democrat say that. You got to use the power when you have it. I mean, that's just the fact, right?
I mean, we all campaign on these things like affordable health care, more access to housing and childcare, public schools. But where is the commitment? And yes, you can't do that when you have Republicans controlling the legislature and a gerrymandered majority. But you've got to do everything you can with what you have. And we're not going to be in that situation next session. So no excuses.
Yeah. We're going to come back, talk more with State Senator Kelda Royce. I like what she used there. The next woman governor, female governor, Madam. Has a good ring to it, don't you think, Kelda?
Well, I'd like to see Wisconsin moving forward again. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Kelda Royce is our guest for the next 10 minutes or so. Come on back on the Civic Media Radio Network.
More bikes,
Thank you.
lively
Yeah.
politics, and WMDX.
I think maybe George Michael's Freedom should be my walk-on song.
Pretty good.
Absolutely.
I've been using the Hold Steady a lot because I really like that kind of drive-in beat. but-
Yes,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I picked it A because I like the song, B it's a fellow gay man, and C he's dead, so who's gonna sue me because I'm using it?
Well, honestly, yeah, that tracks.
So,
Yeah,
you
he's
know.
not going to speak out and say,
Right.
"Oh,
Oh, cease and
Right.
desist. You know?
Right." But it's a great anthem.
Yeah,
And as a Gen Xer, you know?
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Sandwiches, anyone can get exactly what they want.
And it's better than your meatloaf. Well,
Wait,
let me
wait,
call him.
What'd you just say?
You
You said you like my meatloaf.
I did.
Anything
no,
specifically,
sugar
a topic you want to go to at all?
That
Like, should we
is a
get to?
great idea. You're brilliant.
I mean, I think this guy's whatever you want to talk about is great.
That's what I love about Kelder Royce, ladies and gentlemen, watching the stream.
You can ask me anything. I mean, really, this is like
Ask Kelda anything. That should have been the opening line.
As I always tell the kids, like in the Capitol tours, like you can ask me anything, and if I don't feel like answering, I'll just say no,
Right?
thank you.
Yeah, exactly. I
Right?
like that.
Yes.
But you don't want to
About
punish
46%
curiosity.
No,
of Menominee County's 4,300
Uh,
residents receive SNAP.
Zommers,
food
my
aid in
old
April,
eyes
among
and
the
bad
highest
glasses
rates
can't
in the
read
state.
your.
In March
What are the subjects for our
2024,
two
the
callers,
percentage was
please?
51%.
Top
The
one,
county is
congrats
home
on
to
3
the
years.
Menominee
Bottom
Alright,
one,
okay, cool.
UW system.
And nearly
All right, cool.
80% of
Troy will
residents
probably
are
take you
American
after the
Indian.
bottom of the hour.
SNAP
Just
is
gonna want
the
to get
federal
in
food program
specifics
for
about
low-income people,
that we can
formerly
use
known
with
as
Senator
food
Royce. So,
stamps.
Joe,
The
we will take
program
you if you can be
cost
brief,
$100
please, when
billion
we bring you on. Always appreciate you. Thank you, Joe.
1.5% of the federal budget. President Donald Trump's big bill is projected to remove 3.2
And look at
million people
welcome
from
to the
SNAP.
Dan Schaefer
I'm Tricia
audience
Young
because
for
he
Wisconsin
has
Watch. Fact
retweeted
breaks
this
are
out, and
bite-sized
whenever our
fact
numbers
checks
go over
of trending
100 in the
claims
stream, I
produced
know
by
Dan Schaefer's
Wisconsin
audience is
Watch and
watching.
Keep Learn more at
It pays to have
wisconsinwatch.org.
colleagues and friends with large social media following.
Yeah.
My Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard to take, but early detection allowed us to
Local, I mean, you know, local media is the way that we're going to fix the pickle that we're in. It's so important.
The Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council. Know what's happening in your community across Wisconsin and around
here
the
we go.
nation.
Thank you.
You're the good kid. You're the good kid. You're the good kid.
Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. Zommers on the board, Kelda and Todd on the dance floor. I shouldn't say that. Senator Royce to me. Thank you very much. Senator Kelda Royce is our guest here in studio on our 3rd anniversary. It is a party. We're glad you're along with us. Senator Royce, also a Democratic candidate for governor of the state of Wisconsin. Meet her. If you haven't, she's all around the state. Find out more about her candidacy. She's one of these people, and we had former state rep Fred Clark in this last earlier this week.
My old colleague.
Running for governor. And I said the same thing about him. If you
not for governor, but for Congress, right?
I'm sorry, for Congress.
Yeah, he's not running against me.
No. For Congress. And I said the same thing with former rep Fred Clark, now running for Congress in the 7th, about you. You're the type of people, you're real, you're conversational. And when people meet you and talk to you, they like you.
Yeah, you know, he and I were campaigning together up in Ladysmith, Wisconsin. And you know, we packed the back 2 rooms of this bar, and it was great. I mean, I think people are looking for candidates who are authentic and who listen and who are solution oriented.
Yeah. And just like U.S. Senator Tammy Baldwin, Kelda Royce finishes her beer. She doesn't just go in and take photo ops. You understand? She's finishing the damn beer.
Well, it's actually old fashions.
A woman after my own heart. Old fashions. 855-752-4842. 855-752-4842. One of our favorite callers on our 3rd anniversary. Nobody knows her facts better than Joe in Madison. Joe, thanks for calling on MDX. What say you?
Oh, thanks for that. I just wanted to say I've met Kelda, and I would agree. I would love to have an old-fashioned with her, too. And she's smart as all get out. One of the things, 2 points that I want to make real quick. Number one, you were talking about the UW system. Let us remember, people, this is the economic impact of the UW system is $24 billion every year. For every dollar invested by the state, we get a $23 return because it supports 167,000 jobs and 1.1 billion in state and local taxes. To say nothing of what we're getting in terms of the workforce development, and also the number of people who are employed by Wisconsin Alumni Research, and all the new economic growth we get out of science and technology that comes out of the university. So it is a moneymaker for us, and anybody who would want to start closing down campuses in either 2-year or 4-year, it's nuts and not a good idea. One point I wanted to make about Kelda that I was very impressed by is that she has advanced the idea of every citizen in the state, as I understand it, may have a chance to take advantage of the same pension system that the state workers have, that to expand that so that everyone could have a form of pension through that system. What that would give people is what they originally started out with was back in the 30s when they were thinking about doing this, 1930s, it was, gee, we want to have it for the people in the private sector too. They weren't able to make it happen then. Let's make it happen now. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Joe. You're amazing. Thanks for your listenership for 3 years. We appreciate it. Senator Royce?
Yeah, Joe is absolutely right. We want everybody to have retirement security and, frankly, health security too. Those are two huge economic issues that hold back young people and middle-aged people from feeling like they're able to be free, to thrive. And opening up the state health insurance plan and the state pension to anybody to be able to buy in at a fair rate not only strengthens those programs, but enables people to, for instance, leave your corporate job to go start a business, right? Become an entrepreneur, take time out of the workforce to be a caregiver for a parent or a child, go back to school if you want to, right? There's all kinds of things, or even just retire early. Yeah. So many people are tied to their job because of that healthcare or the pension. And think about the freedom we could unleash for our communities if people were able to have another option, a low cost, high quality option. I mean, it seems so common sense, Senator. Things that the folks at the state capitol get should be available to all. Absolutely. And I think that's not radical. I think that's just taking care of your friends. It's kind of common sense. Right? Right. I mean, the idea in this country that we're going to ration your health care, your access to see a doctor, your access to retirement security based on the job you have. Yeah. It doesn't make sense. People who work in restaurants, people who care for folks in our nursing homes, people who do childcare, they work really hard. They don't work harder than me. They should be able to have the same benefits. About 2.5 minutes left. State Senator Kelda Royce. We talked a while back after the tragedy in Minnesota, which shook a lot of people up. You're an elected official already. Share with our audience again across this state, what drives you to be our next governor? Why are you doing this? I'm doing this because this is a critical moment in our history. This is a very challenging time. We must have a governor with the courage to stand up to Trump when it's necessary and to protect us from the harms that are coming down from Washington. Whatever it is, whether it's the tariffs, whether it's the corruption, whether it's the lawlessness, we have to have a governor who's willing to tell the truth about what he is doing and fight to protect our democracy at this critical moment. At the same time, we are going to have a once-in-a-generation opportunity to help move the state forward, to change the trajectory of Wisconsin to a place that is worthy of our progressive heritage and our motto, to fund our public schools, to make sure every person has affordable health care, to raise wages and to lower costs on the most important things from health care to childcare to housing. I want to do that. I know that we can, but only if we have strong leadership from the governor's office. The legislature is wonderful, but we're not going to hurt ourselves. We have to have strong leadership from the governor's office to do this. One of the best political answers I've ever heard. I'm not just saying this because you're here. Trygve Olson, who has worked for a lot bigger people than I have in politics, he heard it. And he texted me afterwards. He said, blankety blank, that was fantastic. and I said, I asked you earlier this year, I said, how can you win the Democratic primary? And you said, I'm not running for the Democratic primary. I'm running to be governor in the state of Wisconsin. That's right. This is a time of chaos, but I'll tell you, courage and competence will beat chaos every single time. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I want to thank you for being with us, the most often political guest over the last 3 years on this program as we celebrate our anniversary of this show, and hope to see you soon again on the campaign trail or somewhere. Senator Royce, you're amazing. And I wish you all the luck out there, and I hope you're our next governor. Thank you for everything, Todd. I love being on your show. Well, it's a pleasure. Our pleasure is ours. State Senator Kelda Royce, get to know her.
she may well be our next governor of the state of Wisconsin. Come on back. Take your phone calls and more. 855-752-4842 on the Civic Media Radio Network.
You're a good kid. You're a good kid.
Students, government, lakes, and
Sorry,
WMDX.
Patrick. I didn't see Old Fashions are
Local
especially
news,
good
real
at
voices,
Wissota Lodge. Let's do the next Pacific Media interview on a remote. Have you had his brandy old fashioned?
No, not at Wissota.
I'll tell you right now. Pat Kreitlow, I say this from experience, makes the best privately made. I'm not talking about bar.
Does he use real Wisconsin maple syrup? Is my question.
I believe so. Didn't you, Pat? He can.
Or does he
speak for
use
himself.
the raw sugar, which is also good?
It was honest to God the best brandy old fashioned sweet I've ever had outside of a bar. It was amazing.
Can't wait.
Yeah, get up there. We sat next to Lake Wissota.
I'll be campaigning hard in Lake Wissota.
Hey, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And to discuss policy and elect delegates to represent you. To find out more information and how to register, please go to our website at farmfirstdairycooperative.com. We'll see you soon.
Mike Berg from Lafayette County was named the 2025 Wisconsin Leopold Conservation Award recipient. He's operating 540 acres of land, pasture, and forest. Berg says that the Pecatonica River runs through his driftless region, and it was one of the inspirations for many of the conservation projects he's undertaken.
Years ago, Pam, I was traveling along the Pecatonica River, and I watched a massive landslide of dirt and sediment just fall into the river. And I thought to myself, there's got to be something that can be done to stop this dirt, the sediment pollution into the Pecatonica that will hurt fishing and just wind up in the Gulf of Mexico. And I called over to NRCS, and NRCS said, we'll send somebody over, we'll look at it. And that's how this started.
Mike Berg from Lafayette County, your 2025 Wisconsin Leopold Conservation Award recipient. He says his centerpiece of conservation focuses on that Pecatonica River, where he's restored almost a mile of riverbank with riprap that started back in 2020 with more than 200 loads of specialized breaker rock that he laid and covered with dirt and reseeded.
Moisturizing
We've got
my
more
knuckles.
about Michael
It'll be
Berg up on our
moisturizing with
website,
Aaron Summers on our next segment.
MidwestFarmReport.com.
Well, I don't
At
have the lotion
CHS,
here.
we know what it takes to feed and fuel the world, to integrate a global ag and energy supply chain, to advocate for farmers in their fields and around the world, to build communities, invest in rural America, and empower rural economies. It takes courage, conviction, commitment. It takes the nation's leading farmer-owned cooperative. It takes a co-op. It takes CHS.
And next year, you'll be seeing artwork from a
It's a good one.
senior at Delavan Darien High School. Jalen Lochterman was selected the winner of the 2026 Wisconsin State Park and Forest Vehicle Admission Pass
As
Design
I
Contest.
said when we talked
Her
about it
design
before, it
depicts
has
the
a call to
beloved memory
action of sorts.
friends enjoying time
Not
on
direct,
the
but-
water. That's a look at food news. I'm Pam Yankee.
Your neighbors are talking. Leaders are deciding. Madison's story unfolds daily on 92.7 WMDX.
I'm meteorologist Rodney Price. Plentiful sunshine for the afternoon, a light south breeze, and enjoy highs in the mid-60s. Clouds thickening up tonight, though. Lower 50s expected by dawn. Morning clouds Saturday giving way to some sunshine. Once again, mid-60s. Sunday will be cooler. Right now, it's 64.
Nightlight with Pete Schwaba. We have Emerson Lehman in the studio. I don't get excited about gardening. My wife will say, "Oh, it's going to be gorgeous this weekend. We should work in the yard."
Jeff
Like,
Perry
why would we
online.
penalize
Yes,
ourselves
yes,
for
he
having
is,
beautiful weather by going
he's aware of the
outside?
instructions,
My dad,
I'll say
I
that.
went home to visit one summer. My dad's out moving rocks. Yeah, I'm not moving rocks for fun. I'm sorry. Sorry, Dad.
Nightlight with Pete Schwaba. Weeknights from 6 till 8 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the Civic Media app.
Oh, this is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio. On our show, we share stories from Turtle Island, highlighting the people and issues shaping our communities. From protecting water to treaty rights and preserving languages and traditions, we cover it all. Hear voices
30
like
seconds.
Arvina Martin from
Gracias.
Merge, Wisconsin, Dr. Stately, Robert Lilligren, and more.
Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. 35 minutes now past the hour of 2 o'clock on this Friday, TGIF, November 14th, 2025. Aaron Zommers, the incomparable Aaron Zommers on the board. We have been together for 3 years. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, November 14th is our 3rd anniversary. And that is what we are celebrating today. If you're watching this on the stream, Facebook, Twitter, Twix, X, whichever you want to call it, wherever you're on YouTube, we got the balloons up because it is our 3rd anniversary. Time goes by when you're having fun, Zommers.
It sure does. And Todd even brought a cake today.
Yes.
We can't really show it to you because, of course, we had to cut it so people could eat it. Right. But it said, thanks for 3 years.
Yes, and thanks for 3 years. I ordered it on Monday. And so here we have a cake today. It's a Batch Bakehouse, great independent bakery on Willie Street.
It was a delicious cake.
Here in Madison. Yeah, vanilla and raspberry with buttercream. All right, our 3rd anniversary. Thank you all for joining us on our 3rd anniversary. Much more to go here coming up on the big program. If you want to join us. And by the way, many thanks to State Senator Kelda Royce. How fantastic is she? The most often political guest here, most frequent guest on the show over the last 3 years politically, Kelda Royce. We appreciate her taking time and being here today. And she enjoys a brandy old fashioned. Our friend, our colleague, host of Mornings with Pat Kreitlow every morning from 6 until 9 on the Civic Media Radio Network. Maybe Patrick, if you stand by, because Trigby is going to I think StreamYard in hour 2. So, Patrick, if you want to StreamYard in and join us in hour 2, you're more than welcome. But he's watching now, and he says old fashions are especially good at Wissota Lodge,
AKA his house.
Yes. Let's do your next Civic Media interview on a remote. So Kelda is in, Senator Royce is in. Maybe I can get up there because Pat Kreitlow, honest to God, I've been honored enough to enjoy them on the shores of Lake Wissota. He and his lovely wife. And Dr. Kreitlow, to you and me, thank you very much. So, thanks, Pat, for tuning in. Thanks for all. What a guy Pat Kreitlow is for 3 years, coming on our little dog and pony show. He's Mr. Anchorman for how many years? Former state senator, broadcaster extraordinaire, and yet he puts up with us every Wednesday. So we appreciate that. And a coif of better hair, you will not find a nicer man as well. Pat Kreitlow, we appreciate him. 855-752-4842. Let's go to the phone lines. Want to talk a little politics or 3rd anniversary talk? One of our great callers, one of our great listeners, we got to meet him and hang out down in Waukesha at the world premiere of No Packers, No Life.
It was very nice.
It was. He's also been at the premiere of the Brewers movie, just a bit outside the story of the 1982 Milwaukee Brewers. Troy in Mount Horeb, listening on WMDX. Troy, thanks for holding on. What do you got?
No problem. And both were a lot of fun, and I appreciate you bringing me.
Well, it was our honor, our pleasure.
And congratulations on 3 years. I never caught the morning show. I only caught the afternoon.
Not a lot of people did.
I missed out in the beginning. So I have a question.
Yeah, give it to me.
Since John and Gordy blew the answer.
All right.
Where are you going next?
Well, I'm here. I'm here for now. Stay tuned to hour 2.
At the meeting? Were you at the meeting? Or
yeah, stay tuned.
I was at the meeting. All I heard was you.
All right, say it. All right. Well, we'll be around. We'll be around for a while. So thank you, Troy. I appreciate it. 855-752-4842. 855-752-4842. Tom in Middleton, listening on WMDX. Tom, what do you got for us? Tom in Middleton. Tom is there. Tom is
Madison. It looks like we lost Tom. Feel free to call back, though.
All right. Very good, Tom. You want to call back? That's great. 855-752-4842. Mark in Prairie du Sac. Mark, what do you got for us?
Yeah, well, great conversation going on there, both about the pension fund that we should duplicate that for the private sector as well as the health insurance. Mm-hmm. I mean, again, the bigger the pool, the better it would be for the state and for our citizenry. And let's remember this attack on education. It just kind of crystallized on my mind. The attack on education is attack on democracy itself, on the republic itself, because the founders, for all their faults, a lot of them were educated men. They're self-educated, and a lot of them had sought the higher education at that time, but Jefferson promoted the idea of public education, and the idea that they want to do away with the Wisconsin idea, which is not to produce little cogs for whatever kind of labor that the ruling class wants us to be part, but to produce citizens, and that's what education is all about. It's produce educated citizenry, and the education that promotes the economy is a benefit of that. But the primary is that we need to have an educated citizenry in this country, because the attack that they're making right now is simply an attack on the idea of the republic itself, I think, because the republic itself came out of the Enlightenment, and the Enlightenment came from the freedom of thought that created that very same Enlightenment, to free ourselves from the old world of thought to the new world of liberty, and
that's well said. Go ahead.
The preamble of the Constitution lays out what the Constitution is all about, and part of that is to promote the general welfare. It doesn't say promote wealth for the wealthy; it's to promote the general welfare. And I can't put it more succinctly than what our preamble actually lays out, because it is duplicated in the Constitution itself, where that general welfare is part of Section 8 of the Constitution, and that the limits on government rather than the limits on people.
Well said, Mark, as always, and appreciate your listenership for 3 years on our third year anniversary. Always appreciate Mark's perspective, and he says it. Here's a guy who knows history. Mark in the sack. We weren't supposed. For many years, he would call Mark in the sack, and they said, "No, you have to ask me Mark in Prairie Sack." But my heart is always Mark from the sack, and really appreciate.
It's really just because people who don't live in the area will have no idea what we're talking about.
Right. Well, that too. Thank you, Mark. Always appreciate it. 855-752-4842. 855-752-4842. On the third anniversary of the Todd Allbaugh Show, our friend, our ongoing contributor, Mr. Jeff Perry, is on the line. My former colleague at WRCO Richland Center, my classmate from Richland Center High School, and the host of his own program across the pond, not the Atlantic, but Lake Mendota. Jeff Perry from WVMO. Jerry Perry, what do you got?
Hey, Todd, I'm not actually watching on Twix, but I am eating a Twix, so I apologize that my mouth is full.
That's fine. That's fine.
I just wanted to say congratulations on 3 years, and I'm really not great at putting these things in words, so I would like to tell you how I feel in a song.
Oh, fantastic. All right, here we go.
No, I'm just kidding. I would never do that.
I thought maybe you had something. That would be great.
But I do want to say something sincerely. What I like the most about your program, and there's a lot to like. As you know, I listen practically every day.
And we appreciate that. You're one of three.
Well, thank you.
My mom and sister are the other ones, but go ahead.
And so there's one thing that comes through very, very clearly when listening to your program. It doesn't matter what story you're covering. And this is sincerely, I'm not screwing around here. It doesn't matter what story you're covering. It doesn't matter what guest you have on. It doesn't matter what bit you're doing. What comes through time and again, over and over again, is that, Todd, you care. You care about this state. You care about this country. You care about people. You care. And I think it goes back to our roots at WRCO, where we were a very local radio station and we really got involved in the community. But just congratulations. 3 years on the air is quite a feat in this business, and it's nothing to sneeze at. So congratulations, and thank you for caring all this time, because it's very obvious that you do.
Jeff, hang on, don't go anywhere. Number one, thank you very much for the very kind words. I really, really appreciate that, especially coming from you. And I think you're onto something. And it's much larger than me or this program. I mean, your dad, Rod Perry, who ran WRCO for several years, you learned from him. You started, how old were you when you first started in radio at RCO?
14.
14, yes. That's a true story. Jeff Perry was on doing an air shift at RCO when he was 14. You know, I was an old man. I didn't start until I was 17. And but yeah, I think you're still right. And you know, didn't you have Mr. Speeds for math as well, middle school?
No, I did not.
Oh, you did not. All right. But he was fond of saying math isn't life. You got to pause and reflect. And I think on this third anniversary of the show, it's an appropriate time to do that. And you and I spent a lot of time, as you said, at WRCO, Richland Center, doing local radio and learn from people like your dad and Phil Nee and Ron Fruit and Ray Schrader, and the list goes on and on. And if it wasn't for those people, you and I wouldn't still have this privilege to have a microphone every day. And I hope that is kept alive for the next generation. You got Zommers here. You've got Parker. You've got Dom. All these young people that still get radio. And isn't that cool, Jeff?
Very much so. And I don't know, not that long ago, people might have thought that radio was a dying medium. I do not believe that that's true. I think that it's in a renaissance right now. And I think that your show has contributed to that renaissance. And but the new generation coming up, yes. My son, Henry, is about to go to college, and he's been touring colleges. And got to tour the college radio station at Stevens Point. And hey, there are some young people out there that are going to be doing some great things. It's very, 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 very fun to see.
Similar with journalism and reporting is we see a lot of student newspapers that are fantastic publications.
Yeah. No, I think you're absolutely right. And Jeff agrees, disagree. I've said this in the show. You've got student journalists is what they're called. I think they should just be called journalists who happen to be in J school, whether it's the Badger Herald or Daily Cardinal or many of the other papers, the Eau Claire paper, the student. I mean, these people are doing some of the best work right now, Jeff.
Oh, absolutely. And part of it is that they're not tied to corporate purse strings, but part of it is their passion and their just desire to tell the truth. And I'm very, very excited about the younger generation. I think they're going to do great things.
I could not agree more. And let me just take this opportunity in the third year of this third anniversary of this show to thank you, because a lot of people might not realize that some of the zaniness and that part of the show, the having fun doing it part, as a result of myself and Jeff and our co-executive producer of this program, Chris Pauls, another Richland Center native, putting heads together early on in this show. And we would not have made it, Jeff, to 3 years without you and your support and your zaniness. And it's one of the favorite parts for me of this program when you call in with something just, let's be honest, stupid but funny to say. And I love that about you. And nobody knows Letterman history. This is a true story. I've told it before. In college, Jeff Perry had every episode of Late Night with David Letterman on VHS in his kitchen cabinets.
I'm not sure why you said that in past tense.
Oh, yes. Has it survived the attic, Jeff? Please tell me it survived the attic.
They're still there.
All right.
I've only digitized a few tapes, but the ones that I've worked on so far have still played, which is kind of amazing.
Well, fantastic. Jeff Perry, our ongoing contributor. Love you, my friend. We'll see you soon, and listen to him over on WVMO here in the Monona area. Great WBA award winner, Jeff Perry. Pardon me. Thank you, Jeff. We'll talk to you soon. Stay tuned.
Thanks,
More
Todd.
of our third anniversary special straight ahead. It's the Todd Allbaugh Show across Wisconsin on the Civic Media Radio Network.
News, weather, and sports for Madison right here on WMDX. Streaming 24/7 online at WMDXradio.com.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine and More.
Drink responsibly, B21. Looking to strengthen the bond with your pup? Dane County Humane Society offers a variety of dog training classes led by certified trainers. Classes are designed to help you and your furry friend learn new skills, improve behavior, and deepen your connection. Whether your dog is a curious puppy, an independent teenager, or a lifelong learner, DCHS has the tools and expertise to help you set the stage for a successful year ahead. Visit giveshelter.org
Dick and Madison on the line calling to offer his congratulations.
Keeping you
Awesome.
connected
Thank
to
you.
your local community. Here's Terry Barr with the Civic Media Radio Network.
If you've ever snapped a photo at Lambeau Field, turns out you're in good company. A new study from sports analyst PixWise shows the legendary home of the Green Bay Packers ranks among the most Instagrammable stadiums in the NFL. Researchers looked at every venue, then counted the times fans tagged it on Instagram. Lambeau Field scored big, landing at number 7 with more than 218,000 hashtags. Fans point out the mix of history and heart that makes Lambeau so photogenic. From the frozen tundra and the old school bleachers to the modern updates that still honor its past. So at the top of the list, well, MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, home to both the Giants and the Jets. By the way, Soldier Field in Chicago ranks 4th. But when it comes to capturing that perfect game day moment, few places shine quite like Green Bay's own Lambeau Field. Until next time, I'm Terry Barr.
Seems like nobody in America agrees on much of anything these days.
But can we agree the federal government shouldn't tax people into poverty?
If you work full-time, you should be able to afford your basic needs. Don't you think? We're the patriotic millionaires.
We believe your full-time job should cover what it costs to live. You think your first $45,000 of income should be tax-free.
And multimillionaires?
We should pay more to fund your tax cut. Go to first45taxfree.com to learn more. A working class tax cut paid for by millionaires. That's an idea we can all agree on.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
Everyone around the world, come on! It's a celebration.
That's right. It's a party. It's a 3-year anniversary party. We have made it, Summers and I, for 3 years. November 14th, 2022, we signed on the air, and here we are 3 years later.
Although, in complete transparency with the listener, I've been on this show 2 days under 3 years because I had the flu for the first 2 days of the show. We spent all this time, 2 weeks preparing and working on the show for me to get the flu on Monday and Tuesday. And Luke Mathers filled in.
And our friend, our colleague, the senior producer of this program, Luke Mathers, had to fill in on the board. And great as always. Great as always. And thus began, I think that's where the Tuesday tangents with Luke started.
I believe so.
Because back then, as an earlier caller pointed out, we were on for 3 hours from 8 until 11. And let's just be honest, it was not great radio for 3 hours. But we filled it. And then after us, our friend and former colleague Kristen Bry and Jane Matnair came on with As Goes Wisconsin. That was the lineup. And we, Zommers, you and I, we were only on Richland Center, Wausau, and Amory.
I believe so, yeah.
And then from there, we earned our way up. And then President Mike Krutz said, welcome. No, he said, I'll put you on the statewide network. And God bless Crudy for doing that, and for Sage. And so we got this opportunity for 3 years to be across the state. So celebrating 3 years here on the old Civic Media Radio Network. 855-752-4842, 855-752-4842. Dick in Madison on WMDX. Dick, thanks for calling. Let's see.
Well, congratulations on 3 years to both of you.
We appreciate
it went
that.
by all too fast. And who else would let me bloviate with former Senator Schultz like I did a couple of years ago? He was 2 years. I don't know if you remember it. He was 2 years ahead of me in high school.
I forgot
and him and
that.
I started talking
That's
about
right.
high school, and you just let us carry on with that for a little while. But the other thing that I think of, your high school friend put it real well. But I think of the word sincerity when I think of both of you guys.
Well, thank you, Dick. That means a lot.
Yeah, thank you.
And I think that if this show has been successful for 3 years in any way, shape, or form, it's because I just said from the day one with Zommers, I don't know how else to be anything else but Todd. And it's really hard for me to act that way. And so I said, I will never hold a candle to Johnny Carson or David Letterman or go down the list. But these are people that I aspired to be. I knew I didn't have the talent to be, but I aspired. And they were just, from all accounts, they were largely themselves on the air. And that's the first part of it. And Dick, the other part of the reason that this show has been successful in any way, shape, or form is because of people like you, our callers all across the state of Wisconsin, who take your valuable time and dial in a goofball like me every day. And have stayed with Zommers, keep me honest, 5 time changes in 3 years.
I believe 5 is correct.
5. So we've been moved around the dial 5 different times in terms of time. And people like you, Dick, have followed us and found us and tuned in. And so thank you and everybody else for giving us the opportunity to be here for 3 years, because our rear ends would have been out the door if people wouldn't have tuned in. So thank you, Dick.
You bet. It's been great.
Really appreciate you, Dick. 855-752-4842, 855-752-4842. I've forgotten Dick and Dale. Now that sounds like a nursery rhyme, right? Dick and Dale. Yeah, they went to I think now Dick's gone, but Madison Central, I think, together, which became the old MATC just down the street from where we are at, and then finished up at Madison West, or so I believe. But isn't that one of the, especially back when we were 3 hours, but even since we've been 2, I think one of the cool opportunities over the last 3 years has been this blessing, this opportunity to have actual conversations.
Oh, definitely. And to hear, we talk on here and we blab all day, give our stories and our perspectives, but it's always great to hear yours, especially, it really can be a small world, because Dick and Madison is not the only one who's called in and been like, hey, I know this person that's on your show really well.
Right. But they have because so often now everything is in 3-minute or 2-minute or 1-minute increments, and you don't have the time to have actual conversations. You're too young to remember Zommers, but I do. I was pretty young, but I remember when the Tonight Show was 90 minutes, and Johnny Carson or whoever could have long actual conversations on television with guests. And now, of course, whether it's Colbert or Kimmel or Fallon, whoever, it's basically, okay, here's your book, or here's what you're plugging. Let's do that. And on the rarest of occasions, on the biggest of guests, then they'll allow the host to have maybe a 20 or 30-minute block, Barack Obama or whoever it might be. But too often in media today, it's all boiled down to these little snippets. And I think one of the great blessings of this show and this network for the past 3 years has been to be given the freedom and the opportunity to have long actual conversations where you can actually build up a little momentum, and the listener, hopefully you all have gotten something out of those over the last 3 years.
And to find out which of our elected officials are willing to have those truthful conversations, right. Among other people. And
good point. We've invited a lot of people, not all comers, but we've invited people.
Not all of them respond either,
no.
But
here now on our 3rd anniversary, and you recall, I visited the CBS World headquarters out in New York back in high school, and I bought a CBS mug. And what was it, last year or earlier this year? It broke.
I think it was earlier this year.
And I've had it for 30 some years. But I got a replacement at Etsy. So here I have my CBS mug here, my replacement. And then, of course, the original, you shouldn't say his name anymore, but I'm going to, Charlie Rose, Gail King, and Nora O'Donnell, CBS This Morning. Chris Licht, in my opinion, created one of the best programs on television of CBS This Morning there for the news. And so those are my CBS mugs I have. And right now I've got my Milwaukee Brewers mug. All right, come on back after the news, weather, and sports. A big announcement. You are not going to want to miss it on our 3rd anniversary. Hold your hats and hallelujahs. Toddy's going to tell it to you. Come on back. It's the Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Columbus, Madison's home for
See, I'm used to the normal thing. I wasn't. Yeah.
Right.
Media station.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. In Oakland, California, police say legendary former football coach John Beam died Friday morning after being shot on Laney College campus yesterday. Police say they have a suspect in custody. A powerful storm bringing heavy rain to the West Coast and triggering evacuations in Southern California, where there's a risk of flooding and mudslides in burn-scarred communities. ABC's Melissa Adon is in Los Angeles.
For those residents that are specifically in burn-scarred communities, there are evacuation warnings in place. So already city and county officials from here in Los Angeles County, over in Ventura County as well, have put out those evacuation warnings for folks to get out, if possible, ahead before anything gets worse.
After President Trump posted on social media asking the Justice Department to investigate Jeffrey Epstein's involvement and relationship with Bill Clinton, Larry Summers, and other Democrats, Attorney General Pam Bondi says she's assigned a prosecutor to take the lead. Stocks making some ground after yesterday's sell-off. This is ABC News.
Construction barrels bloom every spring. So do opinions. WMDX, guiding Madison through life's most predictable surprises.
For 92.7 WMDX News, I'm Savannah Tomei Olson. The average Madison homeowner will pay about $85 more in taxes next year to the city, the county, and the school district. We know that because budgets have been finalized for 2026. Madison Alders passed a city budget earlier this week. It includes the city's lowest tax rate in about 40 years. For the average property owner, city taxes will go up by about $30 in 2026. But of course, that's on top of paying for the $22 million operating referendum that passed back in the fall. And now Dane County's budget has been signed. County Executive Melissa Agard has approved the $916 million budget for 2026, but she still has reservations. When she first took office, the county was facing a $31 million deficit. She instituted a hiring freeze for non-essential positions and wanted a 4% cut to most county departments. The budget adopted by the Dane County Board keeps all positions at the sheriff's office and includes a 1% cut to community-based nonprofits. Originally, that was supposed to be 4%. Notably, the county also contributed almost $1.5 million for the new men's homeless shelter. Agard released a statement where she says, quote, "Some of the changes made by the board undermine the financial guardrails we need in place to protect services and taxpayers in 2027 and beyond. This is not sustainable," end quote. County property taxes will rise by about $15 next year for the average home in the city of Madison, now worth about $481,000. That means together, the 2026 city and county budgets will raise property taxes for the average homeowner by about $45. On top of that, the $607 million referendum for the school district will add another $40 to tax bills next year. I'm Savannah Tomei Olson, 92.7 WMDX News.
A rematch for the Bucks and Hornets. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports basketball. It's the Bucks and the Hornets tonight in Milwaukee in the NBA Cup in-season tournament. It's the second round called the group play matchup. The Bucks losing to the Hornets in Charlotte Wednesday night, 111-100. College football, a big challenge for the Wisconsin Badgers. They're on the road tomorrow to take on the number 2 ranked Indiana Hoosiers. Kickoff in Bloomington, 11 a.m. NFL, the Packers head to New York to play the Giants on Sunday. Packers defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley is convinced head coach Matt LaFleur
Well, would you look who it is?
reignite their offense.
Well,
hello.
Mr. Dan. When we start up, let's take Dan out until then we'll start his intro and then we'll bring him on after that. How about that? Love the hat, Dan Schaefer.
It's a new hat. I got it for my my wife got it for me for my birthday.
For those watching the stream, and many thanks to Dan Schaefer for propping us up on his large social media following. We always appreciate that. To all you Dan Schaeferites out there, Dan, he looks like he's still in college, for God's sake, but the man just turned 40. I can't believe it.
I do not look like I'm still in college.
You do. There's something in the water in Milwaukee because whether it's Dan Schaefer or Kristen Bry or Jay Matt Nair, they all look like they've been through the fountain of youth.
Like Matt Flynn's hair.
Matt Flynn's hair, right? Matt Flynn has a full coif of hair, and I'm balding because I drink water in Southwest Wisconsin.
You got to get you out of Madison, Todd. We got to get you to Milwaukee.
I got to get to Milwaukee.
The fountain of youth here on the west side of Milwaukee.
That's right. Giannis, that's why they won. He drinks all his water out of the Milwaukee River. Da, 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 da. All right, we'll put you in the green room. Dan will bring you out in a second.
Okay. I'm having a little bit of a weird audio issue, so I might leave
really?
and come
All right.
back in here.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Whatever works.
Bandaging war wounded patients in Sudan to providing clean drinking water in Haiti. We're in more than 70 countries worldwide, bringing patients from sick to recovering, from emergency to aid, from
30
crisis
seconds.
to care.
Thank you.
This life-saving care.
From the Civic Media World Headquarters in Madison, Wisconsin, it's the Todd Allbaugh Show. And now, pursuing truth wherever it may lead, here's your host, Todd Allbaugh.
Sing it, Frank.
Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today.
Across Wisconsin,
I
on
want
the Civic
to
Media
be
Radio Network
part of it.
and streaming
New
worldwide
York,
on the Civic Media app. Good afternoon, everybody. Todd Allbaugh, along with Mr. Aaron Zommers, our producer and engineer. It is now 7 minutes past the hour of 3 o'clock on this TGIF edition, Friday, November 14th, 2025, the third anniversary of the Todd Allbaugh Show. We are celebrating here high atop State Street, a block off the Capitol Square at the intersection of State and Fairchild in beautiful downtown Madison. Zommers, before we go any further, let's take a look at the old Sam Davidson street cam that we have named for our former producer here. He is a producer again, actually, at Civic Media. Look at that beautiful downtown Madison at the intersection here. Cars going by, the leaves almost now falling off the tree across the street. The corner building you see there is where many of my coffee dreams died. It was supposed to be the first location of Fifth Element Coffee, and through many complexities I won't get into, I lost $25,000 in that deal and had to go to a different location. So anytime I get too big of a head, being Mr. Radio Boy, and I can just look out the window and say, well, look at there was one of your failures, Todd. So it keeps you grounded. It keeps you honest. Zommers, how you doing?
Doing well. You know, a fine occasion to be here on the third anniversary of the show.
Absolutely it is. Glad to have you along. It is 8 minutes past the hour of 3 o'clock. Time once again for a Wisconsin fun fact. Here we go.
Oh, Wisconsin, land of beauty, with your hillsides and your
That's right. Time for the Wisconsin fun fact. That is the Wisconsin State Ballad. That's real. Sung by the one of the authors of the song, Sherry Saracen. All right. Fun fact. On November 14th, 1861, the 4th Wisconsin Infantry was among the Union forces that began an expedition to Accomack County, Virginia. Today, if you're looking for a Big Mac in Accomack, may we recommend the McDonald's location at 25297 Langford Highway, Onley, Virginia, 34182. Phone number 757-787-7888. Wisconsin fun fact. That became quickly one of my best, my favorite segments on this show. You got a fun fact, a fact, and then it was something fun. How about that, Zommers?
Absolutely. And now you know where to get a Big Mac if you're ever in wherever that is.
That's exactly Accomack, Virginia.
That's right, Accomack.
All right. As Johnny Carson once said, and I'm no Johnny Carson, and so it has come to this. Here's a fun fact that's not so fun, but it is a fact. This is real. And not the most easy thing to say, But yesterday, about 25 minutes before showtime, I was informed that today will be my final day at Civic Media. And this is the final edition of the Todd Allbaugh Show for now, at least here on Civic Media. Look, I'm not going to go into all the details. I'm simply going to say I was told this is important to me, and I want to make sure that I make this clear. Everything I'm saying here, this is an amicable separation in terms of I'm very grateful for these 3 years here, and I'm not going to bag on my company or my bosses. And they were kind enough to allow me to do a last show, which many people in this industry are not allowed to do. So they trusted me to keep this classy, and so I'm going to honor that.
And that means a lot to both of us.
Yes, it certainly does. And so I want to use this hour to look back. Today is my final day. I did not, important also, I was not let go for disciplinary reasons or low numbers. I was told it was budgetary reasons and for the long-term financial viability of the company. And, when things like this happen, they're not allowed to go into a lot of details. I respect that. Look, it's a tough industry a lot of times for a lot of people. And as our friend who has been a mentor to me in this industry over the last couple of years, Kelly Call, former president of CBS Entertainment, there was a great article in what he was essentially let go at CBS after 3 decades, helping build that to #1 network in America, keeping it there for several years. And they essentially said, Kelly, it's been, you really should retire, and showed him the door. And he kept it classy. And in this article, he said, you know what? In this industry, we're not always given the ability to choose our departure. And that's the way it is. And it doesn't diminish our body of work, I don't think. It's tough, sure, not what I wanted, but I'm very grateful for this opportunity to have been here at Civic Media. So it was simply a budgetary thing. There are or were other people involved in this that were also let go. That is not my story to tell and not my announcement to make. So we're just going to simply keep it to this show right now. Zommers, more with you and I in a bit here, but this news, not great. There might be a word for it. What could it possibly be? What could it possibly be?
Discombobulating.
That's it. I wish there was somebody around who could help us figure this out, who could help us undiscombobulate. Let's see here.
There is a 5th dimension beyond that which is known to man.
Milwaukee's best.
It's a dimension as vast as space and as timeless as infinity.
Hey, man, what about Milwaukee, man?
It is the middle ground between light and shadow, between science and superstition.
I think God would want us to go to Milwaukee.
And it lies between the pit of a man's fears and the summit of his knowledge.
What do you think about Milwaukee?
This is the dimension of imagination. You are now entering the recombobulation area.
I mean, we need a recombobulation area.
Everybody needs a recombobulation area. Here, one last time. Really, the real reason I wanted Schaefer to come on is so I could hear that great intro, because, no, that's not true. Partially true. Look, one of the great blessings of being here for 3 years is having the opportunity to meet and work with people I would not have otherwise. And at the top of that list is a guy who I've spent time with behind the scenes. He has been on anchor desks with me on election night, has helped me through this whole thing. Dan Schaefer. Dan, it means a lot to me to have you on this show.
It means a lot to me that you invited me on for this last show here. Thank you so much for having me and for playing that wonderful introduction. I never get tired of hearing that. I'm not sure how much recombobulating I can really bring to you today, but I'm going to do my best, as I always do. And I've so enjoyed working with you over the past few years. And, like you said, election nights and special coverage and debates and all sorts of different things that we've had the opportunity to work together on. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to have been able to get to know you and worked with you and learn from you and all of those wonderful things. And so thank you so much for having me one more time here on the Todd Allbaugh Show.
Well, it's my pleasure. And if you don't mind, we're going to bring on another friend of ours, another guy who I knew but would not have gotten to know even better and spent time with. I've literally in separate bedrooms, mind you, but spent the time on the road sleeping with Trygve Olsen in separate rooms. But Trygve Olsen joins us from the Tony suburbs of Washington, D.C., senior advisor to the Lincoln Project, a River Falls boy. Trygve Olsen, great to have you along. Thanks for being here, my friend.
You're welcome, Todd. I feel like I've been along for most of the 3 years.
You have, almost since the very beginning. Yeah.
I think it was day. I think he was on the first Wednesday of the show.
It was the first Wednesday show. Yep.
And I called you up and I said, hey, would you be willing to do this? And you came on. And then I said, would you be willing to do this more often? He goes, how about every week? I said, are you sure?
That's true.
And he said, yeah.
I did. I literally called you up and said that was the most fun that I've had for an hour in my week in years. Yep, that's true.
Guys, let's about 5 minutes here, 4 minutes left. Let's have a little conversation because Trygve, you and I have had the opportunity through this show to travel all over the state on our What Makes Wisconsin Great tour. Dan Schaefer, let's start with you. Agree or disagree? Part of what Trygve and I have found, and you looking at politics all over this state, there are so many things that bring people together rather than divide. And looking to 2026, wouldn't that be a good model for somebody to run on?
I think so. Maybe you should run then.
I tried that for assembly twice. In the words of George Costanza, didn't take.
But I think people are want that kind of message. I think people are tired of the division. People want to come together. I think you're absolutely right about that.
Trygve?
Yeah, I mean 100%. People are looking for something different. It's not how our politics is going is not how people interact in their day-to-day lives. It's just not.
Yeah, I totally agree. And how refreshing, guys. We had Trygve and I got to have Fred Clark on a couple of days ago, former assembly person who's running for the Northwoods Congress District up there, the 7th. Here's a guy who actually is a hunter. Actually is a forester, an outdoors person. He's not buying brand new jeans at JCPenney. And we had Kelder Royce on again today at the top of the show. Dan Schaefer, aren't these the types of candidates that Democrats, authenticity, Dan Schaefer?
Yeah, it's something that sure seemed like it's been missing from the Democratic Party, of just people being able to say things without caveating. I think the Biden administration and the shielding of his mental decline, or however you want to characterize it, that was happening at that time, I think that has been something that's really infected the party in a lot of ways. And I think people need to just start being more authentic again.
Before I go any further, and it's been cleared through our owner, Sage Wild, to let people know, very kind of him to let us do that. We have a new site people can find this show at. It's toddallbaughshow.com. That's TODDALLBAUGH show.com. toddallbaughshow.com. You can find us here moving forward. Chance to email us, keep in contact with me, and we're exploring doing some, whatever it is, podcasting, or at least keep it, because quite frankly, I'm a lonely single man, guys, and it would be fun to have Dan Schaefer in the platonic sense and Trygve Olsen to have you guys come on and do something at toddallbaughshow.com.
Thanks for that clarification in addition there. That's important.
I mean, you're a handsome man, Dan Schaefer, but A, you're married, and B, you're straight. So,
there is that.
There is that. But Trygve, you're working on the Lincoln Project, about a minute left here. Moving to 2026, what's the key for Democrats to win the state?
I think being a common sense problem solver. I mean, I think that's what you saw with Abby Spanberger. It's what you saw with Cheryl in New Jersey. That's what people are looking for. And it's sitting there right in sort of the left of center. But they care about things like education, the UW system, conservation, those kinds of things, and not allow themselves to be drawn into culture wars, but just stay focused on the things that matter to people.
10 seconds, Dan Schaefer.
Yeah, absolutely agree. It needs to be a Wisconsin race. It's you can't just carbon copy a national race and bring it to Wisconsin. It's got to be a Wisconsin specific one, especially if you're a state race.
Dan Schaefer, you can find him at therecombobulationarea.news. Check him out. It's fantastic. You're a fantastic, great friend. I appreciate you. Nobody knows Milwaukee better than Schaefer. Trygve Olsen, you can find him at the Lincoln Project. Great Substack, by the way. Trygve and Dan, hopefully we'll see you soon at the toddallbaughshow.com. Appreciate you both.
Thank you, Todd.
Thanks, Todd. Thanks for everything you've done.
Our pleasure. Come on back. The celebration continues with a couple old friends checking in. Find out who it is on the other side of the Civic Media Radio Network.
Madison
Thanks, guys. That was fantastic.
WMDX.
Thanks,
Glad it was helpful, Todd.
It was super
You're
helpful.
so
Show
slow.
has been
Honored you would have me on.
blue screens?
Well, yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, Trigby, I know Dan's got to run. He's got stuff to do, but Trigby, you want to stay on to join our next guest? All right. He's going to, all right, sounds good. Thanks, Dan.
I'll
Appreciate
stay
it.
around.
Thanks, Todd. Be well.
All right,
Talk
yep.
soon.
Bye-bye.
Yep, thanks.
Keep their computers and networks running smoothly. For solutions to your computer problems, call the pros
Why
at
can I hear somebody
231-8000.
typing in some strange sound? It goes like type, whoosh, type, whoosh.
Really?
That must be coming from your computer or something. 'Cause I'm not hearing that on my end.
Huh. All right.
Oh, would you look who's on the phone line?
Oh,
That's one
very
Jane
good.
Matnair.
Oh, fantastic.
Todd, can you hear me? Hmm. Test. All right.
La 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 la, life is wonderful. La 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 la, life goes full circle. La 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 la, life is wonderful. La 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 la.
Little Jason Mraz. Love that song. Life is wonderful. And it is. It is wonderful. Welcome back to the show, the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. 22 now, past the hour of 3 o'clock on Friday, November 14th. Our third anniversary. And as it turns out, our final show. Was told yesterday that today is my last day at Civic Media. By the way, very quickly to add, Zommers will stay. He's going to be around. So he's going to be at Civic Media. So I'm very thankful that Aaron Zommers will still be here at Civic Media. But today is my last day. This is the last show here. Moving forward, you can find us at toddallbaughshow.com. It's TODDALL, B as in boy, AUGH show.com. toddallbaughshow.com. You can also find me on my personal socials on Facebook, YouTube, and yes, I actually have a TikTok now. Trigby Olsen joins us once again. I'm on now. I got to go to TikTok, Trigby. I got to have the girls help me out. Your daughters help me out with that.
Ula can help you produce viral content, but
all right, very
I know
good.
nothing about TikTok.
Let's go quickly to the phone line, and this is fantastic. She is a legend in broadcasting in the state of Wisconsin, especially in southeast Wisconsin. She is going to be wrapping up her 45th year in broadcasting on December 12th. Keep tuning in every morning between 9 and 11 to Matnair on Air. Our old friend, traveling partner, and Broadway singer, Jane Matnair. How are you, Jane?
Todd Allbaugh, the classiest human being in broadcasting. I am so proud of you, and I love you so very, very much. And You are not done with me, so don't think you're going to escape me. And by the way,
yes.
I think I need to tell you this real quickly. When I was looking for somewhere to park, I accidentally ran over this woman, and she insisted that I let her get on the phone because she's a big fan of yours.
All right.
So here's woman I hit with my car. Say hello.
Good gosh.
Hey, is this Todd B? Is this B Todd Allbaugh?
Yes. As a matter of fact, it is. Is this my favorite?
Okay. I'm so.
What?
Todd, I'm so proud of you. This is your old friend Kristen Bry. Jane did hit me with her car, but I'm young and youthful, so I'll bounce back pretty easily. But I am very I'm so excited for you and everything that is going to come forward for you and all the opportunities that are come your way after this.
Well, I want to say with both you guys on the line, Kristen Breyer, former colleague here, and as Johnny Carson used to say, now she's on another network. Oh, what the hell? What are they going to do? Fire me? She's part of Point Taken, PT, on WTMJ with Steve Scafini there every morning. Kristen Breyer, along with our very own Jane Matnair, Matnair on air. When I first met you guys, our former president, Mike Crute, sent me down to be security because there'd been a broken window. And I walked in for the first time, and Sage Weil, our owner, calls Kristen and said, well, put him on the air with you. We never met. Jane walked in and gave me the look of who the hell is this guy? And Earl Ingram, God love his soul, he looks at me and goes, so what are you doing here? I said, Crute sent me down to be security. And he laughed and he said, no, but seriously, what are you doing here? and
I would say I would trust Jane as my security before I trust you.
100%. But let me just tell you this. I knew from the minute, I've told you this individually, both of you, the minute that I met both of you and sat there after we were off the air and all the way home, all I could think of was, I want to know these two women more because they have an it factor. And you guys were magical in the air together on As Goes Wisconsin, and now having your own shows. Nobody does it better than you two. And for inspiration for my nieces to have women breaking glass ceilings and barriers in this state, Jane Matnair and Kristen Bry, you're leaders in this state, not just for women, but for people. And I'm so thankful that this opportunity at Civic, the fact that's coming to an end, okay, but I got to be friends with you guys, and you're in my life. That will never change, and that is a blessing I'll always be thankful for.
We feel the same about you. Absolutely love you to death. You are a fine broadcaster, a fabulous human being, and not a bad singer.
Oh, really? I've never heard him sing. I did not know that. Can he tap dance too?
A little bit. I can do a shuffle ball change. A flat ball change. Ladies, our old friend Trigby Olson is also StreamYarding in. Trigby, anything you want to say to Jane and Kristen?
No, I mean, they're class acts all the way, just like you, Todd. Sorry, Kristen, you got hit by Jane's car, but you'll be fine.
I'm fine. She's young, she's flexible. Don't worry about it. Get out of my car.
It's true. It's true. It's true. And Todd is probably not the only man that has said, I want to know these two. I bet you've been getting that your whole lives.
Probably.
We were actually talking about that. That's another show.
All right.
At a time that does not need to be shared.
Yeah.
See, look, but this is the problem, Trigby. Other men looking at Jane and Kristen, but nobody looks at me. Well, look, the blessing of this job has been getting to know the three of you, and I hope we got this little thing, and thank you to Civic Media in all seriousness for allowing me to plug this. But people can find me now at toddallbaughshow.com, toddallbaughshow.com, and hope all of you will join us on that soon. Jane Matnair.
We will be stalking you.
All right,
love you,
Jane
Todd.
Matnair, Kristen Bry, love you. Trigby Olson, love you. And join Jane Matnair. On the way out, Jane, here we go. This is what Jane and I play in the car. A little Book of Mormon. We'll be back after this on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Yesterday's
Thank you, God. Mahanai buibawai. Tomorrow is a latter day.
fantastic.
It's counted the length of it.
I like it.
And that's 92.7 WMDX.
A concrete stave
I
silo
also
starts to lean,
didn't wanna
crack,
get-
or
Yeah, I
shift,
get
the
it. I get
danger
it.
has often already set in. I'm Stephanie Hoff along with you on a Friday. This is the Midwest Farm Report. We're visiting with John Sisolak, owner of SiloDemo.com out of Edgerton. He specializes in dismantling aging farm structures. He says many of the most serious dangers begin with mistakes.
Typically, what
That was
happens?
good.
is
I
they'll
thought
get
all the
used
ins and
or
outs
loaded,
worked well.
I think
you
it
know,
did.
either unevenly, or I've seen situations where guys will put high moisture corn in a stave silo that's not banded for high moisture corn, so it just can't take the outward pressure of it, and then it fails. You know, obviously those things are all dangerous situations. It's typically kind of best to have a professional look at it, either a silo builder or just be, you know, very well versed in what it looks like in a normal operating.
John Sisolak, along with us from SiloDemo.com in Edgerton. He says the safest approach to dismantling a silo isn't to tip it over, but to take it down piece by piece from the top. Slow deconstruction prevents injury and protects nearby buildings. Stick around. We'll take a look at closing dairy markets next.
Take the Midwest Farm Report wherever you go with the Midwest Farm Report app. Get real-time updates that matter to Wisconsin agriculture and food production. Connect directly with the Midwest Farm Report team, stream your favorite farm podcasts, and share your ag photos right from your phone with one easy tap. From the fields to your feed, stay current with the Midwest Farm Report app. It's free and available now for Apple and Android. Download the Midwest Farm Report app today.
You'll want to book this adventure with me and holiday vacations. We're headed to London, Wales, and the Lake District, March 22nd through the 31st. Starting in London with a guided city tour on to the Churchill War Rooms. We'll continue with immersive visits to Ludlow Farm Shop and Lower Drayton Farm. Then relive the legacy of the Fab Four at the Beatles Story Museum. Finishing up with a tour of
I have
Bank
a
Mill.
message
Find
from
details
Cam
at
in Appleton. It says, since I am banned, would you please share with him these words? Todd, although you and I do not see eye to eye on some topics, I do really envy your ability to bring positivity and your A-game self to work each day.
Thank you.
Although I am banned for sending trans porn by accident on the text line, I'm glad it wasn't to your show. Move on to better things.
So limited
and no more
information.
CJ.
Some export notes we're seeing
Thank
right
you,
off the
Cam.
bat.
I
Corn
appreciate you. I
exports were
wish
up
you
from the
well. Take
September
care of
WASDE,
yourself.
But soybean export forecasts
and yeah, we just
are down about
we just
50
got to find
million
ways to get
bushels
along.
from the last report. This is
Interesting
due to
that you
lower
say that
soybean
with those
yields
words,
and
'cause,
reduced
uh,
exports
yeah.
from South
We'll see if
America.
Kevin O'Connor calls
Looking
in
at
here.
dairy markets on the close Friday from Chicago, butter is up 2 1/4 cents, closing at $1.57
We do have
and a half. The 40-pound
comments
block cheese
from
closed
Casper,
a penny
from
and
your
a half
sister.
lower
Thanks.
at
We'll try to get this
And
video
more.
for the Midwest
Yep,
Farm
thank you.
Report.
Just know
I'm
if you're
Stephanie
watching
Hall.
that we see all your comments.
Yes, I really
We just
appreciate
also
it.
have a lot of things we need to say.
Thank you.
Finding real conversation on the radio? Probable with 92.7 WMDX.
I'm meteorologist Rodney Price. Plentiful sunshine for the afternoon, a light south breeze, and enjoy highs in the mid-60s. Clouds thickening up tonight, though. Lower 50s expected by dawn. Morning clouds Saturday giving way to some sunshine. Once again, mid-60s. Sunday will be cooler. It's 66 at our studios.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
That's what we were taught, service before self.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Join me, Tom Hartman, each and every weekday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for the Tom Hartman program right here on Civic Media. I talk about the issues that all Wisconsinites can get behind, from unrigging our economy so it works for all of us, not just the billionaire class, to improving our representative government, to delivering on the promise of we
30
the
seconds.
people.
Thank you.
Tune in middays right here on your local Civic Media.
Get along down the road. We got a long, long way to go. Scared to live, scared to die. We ain't perfect, but we try. Get along while we can. Always give love the upper hand. Paint a wall, learn to dance. Call your mom, buy a boat, drink a beer, sing a song, make a friend. Can't we all get along?
You knew we weren't going to get out of here in the last show without a little Kenny Chesney. Great new book, Autobiography by Kenny Chesney. Check it out as well. I've plenty of time to do that now. Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. 35 minutes past the hour of 3 o'clock on this, our third anniversary. And yes, we found out yesterday, our final show. Many thanks to Civic Media for allowing us to have a final show and getting to say thank you. And at least as Mike Leckrone, former band director of UW, says, in Wisconsin, we never really say goodbye, just so long.
Exactly.
Right? And we'll see you real soon. And on Wisconsin. Trygve Olsen, Senior Advisor of the Lincoln Project, continues to join us. We appreciate that. And this means the world to me. Nobody put up with more of my zaniness on the air over the years and traveled with me more. And I didn't learn more from anybody else than the guy who's coming on right now. It is my distinct pleasure to introduce to you my former broadcast partner at UW Platteville for UW Pioneer Sports. Once again, here is Kevin O'Connor.
Good afternoon, Todd.
See, even
if you, I would just like to say, if you've learned from me, that explains why today is your last show.
Well, I wouldn't say that necessarily, Kev. I wouldn't. But look, we spent so many, almost 4 years, 3.5 years before I graduated. Pardon me, was asked to leave, and so. But I've said it on our final edition of Sports Wrap, our program at Platteville, that I would never have more fun. I might be paid more. I might have a bigger. I would never have more fun than our time on broadcasting in Platteville. And this has been great, this 3-year run here, but I would still say it's true, Kevin, and thank you for your friendship and your mentorship.
Well, I would, first of all, thank you for this, everything you just said right back at you, because I wholeheartedly agree when I think back of all, and I'd like to think that other great moments and great times and professional excitement and other things I would rate as highlights, but it's super hard to look back and say anything, but there's no way to replicate that level of enjoyment and of doing things around people and with people that you genuinely like so much, right? And where you truly can be yourself and have that level of fun. It was great. That's why it's always been great catching up with you on these shows and anywhere else you might go. All those things way back, Sports Wrap. I was actually with someone just in the last week who grew up in Mineral Point, who listened to us on the radio when they were in high school. So he's a 5, 6. He also works at UW Milwaukee, where I work now. And we were reminiscing about that and about the guests that we got, like Dan Van Gundy, when he was the Badger coach, came on Sports Wrap and was college radio in Little Old Platteville. Like, those were the things that were happening. Very strange. I don't think that would happen these days one way or another. But it was certainly a lot of fun while it was happening. I also, when Jane Goodall passed away not too long ago, I believe we did about 30 minutes of inappropriate radio about Jane Goodall.
Back in the day, back in the 90s.
I don't even know. I don't know why. I don't know what for. I can't say I'd thought about it until that moment, but I'm like, I feel like there was a time where we did stuff we probably would get in a lot of trouble for.
I'm glad that was on reel to reel and no longer exists.
That is. I don't know. I got some cassette tapes here in my basement. There might be. Might be some good stuff to crack out on YouTube or one of them channels.
Well,
someday.
Kev, here's the good news. We got our own website now, toddallbaughshow.com, and so we're going to do a little something over there. And so you're going to have to join us if you'd be so very kind.
I would be happy to. What's it pay?
See, always doing something for Kev. We'll negotiate that. We'll negotiate that. Maybe another dinner at the 5 o'clock steakhouse.
There we go. That would be great. That would be great. But seriously, I think it's listen, we could get into serious discussion. We know how hard it is to make it in the media business these days. We know how often people have things that someone likes that people like, that lots of people like, but there's so many reasons they can't last. But I hope you look at it this way. I certainly want to for you. I'm thrilled that for the last 3 years you had this opportunity
100%.
and sort of reestablished a platform for yourself, that then you can go out and set up your own website and try to figure out, hey, what else can I do with that?
Right.
I mean, maybe that comes with age, that we're all able to think that way a little bit
You're
more,
right.
but like, it's a chance, right?
You're so
It's an
right.
opportunity.
And I bet Trigby will agree with that. We're roughly all about the same age. That with not a lot good comes with age, but I think perspective does. And I look at this, nobody is getting killed here. I didn't get told I have 6 months to live. I have cancer. It's a job. And I'm filled with nothing but gratitude today. And that's the perspective. And Kevin, we'll let you go. But I have gratitude for our friendship, buddy. And thank you for everything, Kevin O'Connor. And we'll see you at ToddAllbaughShow.com very soon.
I appreciate you calling and letting me come on for a few minutes when I couldn't get you fired at this point in time. So that was
Thanks, Kev. We'll talk to you soon. Kevin O'Connor.
You got it.
Thanks,
Take care,
Kev.
Todd.
Trigby, agree or disagree? I think we all we've been through rough campaigns where our candidate loses, you come up short. And look, I mean, you don't always win in life. And I think I won for 3 years, but you get perspective and you get gratitude for what you do get.
Yeah, 100%. And sometimes circumstances are what they are. So there's things that are beyond your control in situations like this. And the question is, what can you take away from life when it doesn't go your way? I think in my own life, I've learned far more from the times, and I say this to my kids all the time, far more from the things that didn't work out than when things work out. Because when
100%.
things work out, you have a tendency to be like, oh, that's because I'm a genius, but you don't really do the soul searching that you do when things don't go the way you want them to. And that oftentimes leads to even better things.
Right. I want to get to this because I don't want time to run out. And again, I want to thank Civic Media for giving me the privilege to have a last show. A lot of people don't get this. And this is why I wanted a last show. I want to say thank you to a bunch of people. So just bear with me. All right. First and foremost, Sage Weil, our owner and founder and CEO. I would not have gotten this opportunity without him and without his vision and without starting this company. Thank you, Sage. Corey Hartman, our COO. Jacqueline Rivera, Director of Human Resources. Never met a better human resource person than Jacqueline. Aaron Corretto, Vice President of Music, News, and Talk. Drew Smith, Vice President of Engineering. Chris Morrow, President of Sales in the Southern Region. Darla Isham, Vice President of the Northern Region. Nobody works her tail off more than Darla Isham, Big G, Gray, all those great folks up at Park Falls. John Scott, Vice President of Marketing. Our engineers, Chris Casper, former engineer Brian Kelly, they have kept us on the air. Our traffic department, Carol Hornig, Dennis Newell, Megan Stemp. Great job, ladies. Thank you so very much for that. Our producers, Greg Bach, also co-host of Matt Nair on Air. Evan Prescott, Nate Wegehout, Todd Michaels. What a rock star Todd Michaels is. From the news department, former news director Terry Bell, current news director Shali Pittman, James Kelly at WCFW The Tap, Lisa Hale at WGBW, Melissa Kay at FHR. What a great station Rapids is up there, Pam, and all the great people up at FHR. Nobody does it better. Our old Zommers, our old weather forecaster from Weatherology, Kara Foster. Remember her?
Kara Foster.
Kara, remember Kara Foster, Trigby? She was great.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. My WRCO family, where it all began in Richland Center, my longtime friend of 38 years, the general manager of RCO, Philip James Nee. Phil, I owe you more than you could ever know. Thank you for your friendship, my friend, and for convincing me to get back into this game. Joanne Krulotz, news director. Hank Bray. I'm going to say this right now. Hank Bray is the most successful salesperson in all of Civic Media. WRCO, you might not know this, a little station in my hometown, brings in more revenue and dollars to this company than any other station in this network. That is a fact. And there is one sales guy, and it's Hank Bray, because he understands people. Hank, thanks for putting the dollars in the jar. Bo Hendricks, Chris Simonson, Tim Theed, former owner, Ron Fruit and mentor, Brian Kennedy, news director, Ray Schrader, a late great Ray Schrader, and Dave Turk. And then there is the Todd Allbaugh Show family. These are the people that get it on the air every day. Chris Pauls, my longtime friend from high school, co-executive producer, and at Literally Media. CP writes all of our What's Worses. He writes a bunch of stuff. This program would have never happened without Chris Pauls. Luke Mathers, our senior producer. Luke has believed in this show. He was our engineer, our board operator the first 2 days. And more than anything, he's a pro and he's a friend. Luke Mathers, thank you very much. The late, great Bill Phillips, our program director, who said, keep that music, keep that tagline. May he rest in peace. Chris Geezy, my wonderful friend and brother, producer who's done so much for this show on site and on location. Jeff Perry, our ongoing senior contributor to this show. Our friend Pat Kreitlow, host of Mornings of Pat Kreitlow. Jane Matt Nair of Matt Nair and Air. Pete Schwaba of Nightlight. Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio. Earl Ingram Jr. Catch him on a podcast. Matt Flynn Direct. How about that? How does fascism creep in, Zombers?
Fascism creeps in on little cats' feet.
That's exactly right. Our friend we're talking to, Trigby Olson, senior advisor of the Lincoln Project, who's been here since the beginning. Brady Ewing, our great friend from Richland Center, and his brother, Brandon Ewing. The Ewing family are incredible people. Appreciate them so much. Love them. Mike Clemens, our great sports reporter. Jimmy Kuska, sports director. Peter Rapine of EPOM's World. Chad Holmes of WXCO Radio for coming on so many times. Catherine Lake, our program director here for a long time. And Catherine Lake gave me the freedom to do this show for so long. Kelly Call and Sean Hanish of Just a Bit Outside. I've learned so much from them. They become friends. They're a pro's pro. Catch the movie on Roku, YouTube, not YouTube, Apple Plus, right? Prime, or buy it at Amazon DVD. Kelly Call and Sean Hanish, thank you so much. Sam Davidson, our great producer. Parker Olson, producer. Dom Lee, producer. My mentors, Dale Schultz, Scott Klug, and Chrissy Andrews. My family and friends, my mom, Heather, my sister, my brother-in-law, Mike, my nieces, Addison, Isabel, the dog, Frankie, my dad, Mary, Mike, Emily, my cousin, Susan, my Kohler family, Kurt, Florcy, Alex, Jason, Keegan, and Buddy. Kristen Bry, my wonderful friend and colleague here at Civic Media. Tom Jackson, who's written so many things for this show behind the scenes. Jonathan and Allison Klein, my kitchen cabinet, my week in review friends. Kevin O'Connor, as you just heard from. Troy Everson, Carrie and Bill Pink, Rob Daggett, Joe Birkland, my two former trainers and became friends. Rob Wheat, my longtime friend from Richland Center, and Jeff Daniels. And we're gonna finish this up on the other side. Zombers, I could have never done this without you. We'll get more into this in a minute on the other side. But Trigby, it takes a village, just like a campaign. And when you hear all those names, that's why I wanted this show, Trigby. And that's why I thank Sage and I thank Corey and I thank this company, because they didn't have to let me do this. And it speaks to their character to allow me to it. And I wanted everybody who's been a part of this show for 3 years and listened. It's not about Todd. It's about all those people who got me here. And they're the ones that deserve the credit. And I love them all to death. And we're going to come back on the other side and wrap this show up. Stay tuned. It's the Todd Allbaugh Show across Wisconsin on the Civic Media Radio Network.
No matter where it goes, you know we're here for the ride. Who gets to roll like we do? Yeah, who wants to rock it like we do? Yeah, who ain't gonna stop me no matter what? Who gets to live like we do?
You're listening to 92.7 WMDX, Madison's home for Nightlight with Pete Schwaba, Monday to Friday, 6 to 8 p.m.
Hey, I'm Dr. Chris Kammer, the Rockin' Dentist, with another victorious dental minute here on Civic Media. For more than a century, dentistry meant drills and needles. So archaic. These days, modern science has transformed how we treat cavities. Instead of cutting away cavities and tooth structure, we can now stop decay in its tracks using safe, FDA-approved methods. Who knew, right? One of the most exciting is silver diamine fluoride, a liquid that can painlessly halt a cavity from progressing when combined with simple medicine and filling materials that go on like spackle, we can actually heal teeth rather than destroy them. This approach is comfortable, lowers cost, and preserves every possible bit of your natural tooth instead of amputating it with a drill. The next time you hear that old dental drill, remember, modern dentistry has already left it behind. And I'm Dr. Chris Kammer, bringing you the good news about modern dentistry with another victorious dental minute right here on Civic Media.
I'm hungry. What's cooking?
Oh, no, not me. It's your turn.
Oh, we're back to taking turns?
Yes.
Well, how about Sugar River Pizza?
Oh, yeah. Now they can cook.
I could really go for some of that 12-hour smoked pulled pork.
Ooh, and some pasta. Okay, now I'm hungry. Sugar River, here we come.
And they have that great kids menu, too.
We don't have any kids.
Right. That's beside the point. The point is, I'm hungry. You're hungry.
Let's go.
Yes. And we should talk about having some kids.
Get in the car, Bob. Sugar River.
We should have played the cat
New
thing.
Glarus, and catering.
School sports are played by humans, coached by humans, and officiated by humans. So the next time you're sitting in the stands at a school athletic event, please remember this and maintain your humanity, especially when it comes to judging and critiquing athletes, coaches, and officials. Please show your fellow humans some respect. They'll appreciate your empathy.
This message presented by the WIAA and the Wisconsin Athletic Directors Association.
I can check, but if the callers are still there, do you want to?
America is kept safe
CJ
because
and
the Army National
Carmela,
Guard
I'll
responds,
try to
protects,
get to you,
and
my
supports our
friend. I
nation
really
when it
appreciate you
needs them
calling
most.
in, but I
From
got a
fighting
couple more things I
wildfires
want to
with air
say,
support,
and
helping
they only give me
civilians in
6.5 more
flooded
minutes, and then I'm
to
done.
delivering food
But
and
just know I
supplies to
appreciate you,
those who have
CJ.
lost
I
everything.
know he didn't
The
always
Army
agree,
National Guard
but I
always
respect your
responds when
opinion. Keep
disaster
fighting the good
strikes.
fight
The Army
and take care of
National Guard
yourself.
also
Carmela,
trains
thank
to
you
be
very
ever
much
vigilant
in
against
Milwaukee
threats,
for
foreign and
everything you've
domestic.
done for this
They
show.
protect
Really,
our
really
skies with
appreciate
missile
you.
defense
I'll
weaponry.
try to get
They
to you if I
secure our
can. We'll see.
information, communications, and infrastructure with cybersecurity, and they protect us against
I don't
chemical,
think I'm gonna be able to
biological,
talk
and
much.
radiological
All right, that's fine.
hazards with the
That's fine.
civilian support team.
I
The
won't
Army
call on
National
you.
Guard also stands
I'll
ready
try
to
it.
deploy
That's all
and
right. Don't worry.
provide support for
30
conflicts or
Thanks.
humanitarian missions.
Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. The time is 8 minutes before the hour of 4 o'clock. At the top of the hour, ABC or CBS News, depending upon which of our great stations you're listening to. A check of weather, our great sports reporter. Nobody does it better than Mike Clemens. Let's keep listening to him for all those great sports updates on another edition of the Maggie Dawn Show, followed by another great edition of Nightlight with Pete Schwaba. Been seeing all the texts, all the good wishes, just know I've read them. Sure, I didn't have time to read them on the show, but it means the absolute world to me. I appreciate it so much. Trygve Olsen joins us once again. Zomer's here on the board. Let me say a couple of them. Right before the break, we had the Kenny Chesney song, We Do. And then for a long time, we copied him to the Friday Mimosas. And at the Who Lives Like We Do? We Do.
We do.
A lot of people think that song's kind of bragging. Oh, you're on the road, you're going to be a rock star. Or you're on the radio, you're some big deal. No. That's not the point of that song to me. We all have the opportunity to live like we do. There's somebody in Richland Center right now thinks that, I wish I could live in Milwaukee because it'd be so cool to live in a city. But let me tell you, there's somebody living in Milwaukee saying, I wish I could live out in the hills and go hunting. And Trygve Olsen, isn't that what we've discovered all across this state? That each of us every day has a choice to get up and live like we do. And it doesn't matter what race or creed or color or sexuality or anything. We get the choice. And that's what this is about, is coming together and making a better state.
I mean, I think that's been the key to your show, Todd. Like, you're a class act, and that comes across, and you care about people. And in the world that we're in, quite frankly, I think you hear that in your listeners. You hear that in the people that we met when we were traveling around the state. You saw that in your coworkers. And, I would just say thank you from me, because as I said to you 3 years ago when you asked me to come on and we talked afterwards, it was the best hour of every week that I've had for the last 3 years to come and get to hang out with you because you're just fun.
Well,
You're
I
an
appreciate
exclamation point in people's lives. And
it.
I think that's, you're seeing that with all the people that are reaching out. And I've talked to some people since you let me know. And, that's the sad part. But that's just the way life is. And it's not like you're going anywhere.
Right.
You're not saying goodbye
And,
forever.
and by the way,
we'll see you
I've not
soon.
been banned from Civic Media. They've been kind enough to say, hey, maybe I'll make an appearance here and there on Civic Media. You can find me moving forward at toddallbaughshow.com. That's TODDALL, B as a boy, AUGH show.com. toddallbaughshow.com. That's where you'll find me in the future. Zommers, what do you got?
I don't think I'll be able to say much, so I just want to say I agree with everybody. Thank you so much.
Zommers, when he and I sat 3 years ago, we didn't know each other. No one has been more loyal to me personally. No one has worked harder on this show and making it sound great every day. Like, I don't mean to offend anybody here in this company. There's a reason I always ask for Aaron Zommers on election night, special reports, because he's a pro.
And there's a reason I'll always say yes when you ask. It's because you are too.
I appreciate that, my friend. That's the part I'm going to miss the most. Look across the window every day and seeing you, buddy. But he's going to see he still has a job. He survives. That's great. I'm glad for that. And I don't know what's going to come next, but here's my ask of all you guys. Whoever is going to fill this spot next, show them the love and the graciousness, the respect and the loyalty that you've given me. Because they don't have a choice coming into this slot. It wasn't their fault. So show that to them. Don't be a stranger. This state is better than it's best when we work together. And that's what makes me so thrilled. And I'm filled with gratitude, right? The old Dr. Seuss line. Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. I'm filled with enormous gratitude for this opportunity. You have all made my life better because of being here on this show with us every day. Your loyalty means the world to me. And I thank this company for this opportunity. And thank you all for listening so very, very much. I won't see you Monday. I might be right. I might be reading a book. I'm not sure, Trigby. We'll see, but we'll figure out something on Monday. Tune into Jane Matt Nair. Pat Kreitlow every morning from 6 until 9. Jane Matt Nair from 9 until 11. And here's the key. Sage had this vision, Sage Weil, when he started this, to fill local news deserts with true and honest news. That, Trigby, agree or disagree, only a couple minutes left. We have seen that, whether it's Richland Center, WRCO, Wisconsin Rapids, WFHR, Park Falls, WCQM, Wausau, WXCO, Eau Claire, Chippewa Falls, WCFW, The Tap, WGBW, Green Bay. It's these people, they're the heroes. I just get the privilege for 3 years to sit in front of this mic, but it's those people going to school boards, county boards, giving you the truth. That's what makes the difference, Trigby. 30 seconds.
Yeah, and what makes Wisconsin great is the people like we met in Stevens Point who drove hours to come and hang out with you, Todd, because they get the fact that you're genuine and you were touching their lives each day, or the people in Seattle who came to when we were out there, or my daughter.
Right? We got through the show
when they heard that you weren't going to be on the air anymore. So
oh, thank you. We got to do the show in freaking Seattle at a Packer bar, my godson Jason and you and your daughters. How cool is that? We got to do it in Los Angeles with our friend Kelly Call at a beach in Hermosa Beach, and doing it outside of USC Stadium.
Yeah, or in my hometown of River Falls. You got to meet my buddies, and they became listeners.
Yeah.
So.
Trigby, my friend, thank you very much. Zommers, I love you, man. You're the best. And all of you for listening. I love all you guys. Find me at toddallbaughshow.com. toddallbaughshow.com. And on the socials, it's just my name, Todd Allbaugh, at Todd Allbaugh. That's where you can find me. Thank you, everyone. Whatever you're fighting for, whatever you believe in, seriously, do not give up. Keep banging your drum. We'll see you soon down the road.
Banging on your drum, keep banging on, and your day will come. Keep banging on You're drunk and they will hear you.
All right, everybody on the stream.
Well, before we sign off, we have one more thing. It was originally intended for something else, but a message from Brady Ewing's kids.
Oh, great.
Bye, Todd. We'll see you again.
That's great. I'm sorry we didn't play it on the broadcast, but that's my fault. That's awesome. Thanks, guys. Thanks, all the Ewing boys. And for all you streamers, again, ToddAllbaughShow.com. ToddAllbaughShow.com. And also the Lincoln Project. Oh, look, my sister. Love you, big brother. Love you, Heather, so much. Look for us on Lincoln Square Media, maybe in the future, maybe a Substack. You never know where we're going to pop up, right, Trigby?
Yeah, you never know. We might pop up somewhere.
All
might be a bar in Stevens Point for all we know. Who knows? We could
all right,
buy a
everybody.
bar in Platteville, Todd. I would be happy with that. That'd be a pretty good life.
Sure, it'd be awesome. All right, love everybody. Be well, everybody. Take care of each other. We'll see you down the road.
Adios.